So what is trap sweeping? Often when curlers are trying to become more effective on the brush, okay, they're trying to get their body weight more over the brush head and their feet out from underneath them. Often what happens if they lack the strength to hold this position or the body awareness to move into it effectively, what happens if you start to get a rounded spine, okay, they start to tuck under a rounded spine, shoulders shrug up, and the worst part is when that broom gets tucked into the armpit. I see lots of curlers demonstrating this trap sweeping position where they're overusing the trapezius muscles, because on the smart broom, they got really high numbers, but in terms of efficiency, movement efficiency, this is not going to be a long-term effective solution. At the end of the day, when we're in this position, it's very hard for us to brace the spine, okay? Brace the spine while creating force. So often we can get, if we put a scale down on the ground, we could lean in and get a lot of weight over there, but you probably can't move very well. Second is this is not an efficient position to move the broom in, so over time you might get some sort of overuse injury and possibly whatever caused you to not be able to hold that nice flat back position will just catch up with you in the long run. Yeah, you might have gotten better numbers on the smart broom, but if you get injured, you can't practice and play as often as you want, or if you play through the injury, you're likely going to be wasting brain space. Okay, making sure that you're thinking about your shoulder in the right position while you're competing, where you should be thinking about sweeping that rock to the pin for the win. So let's use Frankie as a demonstration. First of all, okay, this is not 100% anatomically correct in terms of the origins and insertion. The black lines indicate where your traps are. So if you're like, well, I don't really know what my traps are, that muscle up top that everybody wants someone to massage for them, that's your trapezius muscle, okay? It attaches way up at the base of the skull. Okay, you can slightly see here that it goes underneath the latissimus dorsi, which we'll talk about next. Okay, it's underneath alongside of your spine. It goes along the scapula, the shoulder blade. Okay, and it comes along out from the space of the spine, actually up into the clavicle. Okay, so we can feel the trapezius up in here. It's a very powerful muscle. We need it when we're sweeping. We need it when we're breathing. We use it in daily life when we're lifting things, carrying things, reaching, etc. Okay, now the latissimus dorsi muscle is also huge. Okay, most people actually think of their latissimus dorsi being up here, when in reality, your latissimus dorsi, again, comes over top of the trapezius. Okay, so this is my rib cage, right? So right in the middle of my body is where my latissimus dorsi, we're gonna call it the lats, start, okay? And it runs along the spine as well, all the way down. This is your pubic bone, okay? All the way down to the base of that spine, sorry, the tailbone, all the way down, and the fascia runs in there around the outside of the hips. Your butt muscles go here, okay, and across. Now here's the interesting piece. This is why, yes, we use our traps to sweep, okay? We use our traps to help squeeze our shoulder blades and move them, but what we need to pay attention to using is our lat muscles, okay? And our lat muscles, they start along the spine, down to the hips, but they attach on the back of the arm, okay? And this is not obviously proper. So the muscle to use that brings the arm in closer to your body, I'm sweeping, the muscle back here that's bringing my arm into my body is the latissimus dorsi, okay? So where a lot of people run into issues, and I want to point out real quick, some people get back pain, and it's not actually the QL or the back muscles, the splenius muscles. Actually the fascia where the latissimus dorsi attach, okay? That's a topic for another day, but it's a really interesting space here. Those lat muscles, huge muscles, they come out to the side, they come all the way down, and they help bring the arm into your body. So what I'm seeing when you're trap sweeping is an elevation of the shoulders. You're shrugging your shoulders up to your ears. Okay, a lot of people overuse their trap muscles for a lot of different daily activities because these muscles are so strong. Okay, I don't think that the traps are the problem. I think that we have weak lat muscles helping us to move. Those lat muscles, okay, they're on the back of your body. On the other side is your six pack. Okay, so these muscles in your trunk are helping to brace the spine while the arms are moving. The issue arises when the traps start to help brace the spine up top, brace the upper body. Okay, we don't have the core strength and the lat strength. We brace up here, but that means we're not maximizing this massive muscle at the back. In terms of injury prevention, when the shoulders get elevated, we pull, I'm just gonna undo our lat here for a moment, we pull the rotator cuff, the muscles around the shoulder, out of an optimal position. We pull the scapula, okay, away from the spine. It comes up. We're elevating. And when we elevate, it's really hard to get flexion and extension, stabilization, and even if we elevate everything up, it's really hard to breathe, okay? So when we overuse the traps and underuse the lats, not only are we not effectively bracing the trunk, we're affecting our breathing muscles, and we're putting the rotator cuff muscles in a very delicate position to be overused as well. This big muscle at the back should be helping you brace the spine, not the small rotator cuff muscles. So what I'm seeing when I'm working with curlers is that they have injuries all over the body. Tight neck and shoulders, rotator cuff issues, elbow, wrist issues, right? They can't use the big muscles at the back, so they're using these joints to stabilize. And even low back pain or hip flexor pain because the things back here aren't doing the job the way that they're supposed to. So granted, okay, there's plenty of different muscles at play here when we're sweeping, but we wanna make sure that we're not shrugging up, that we're stabilizing using those big lat muscles. If I reach out to the side and pull my arms into my body, I should feel tightness, okay, back of the arm into the body. So when we're sweeping, we want to make sure that we're not shrugging up into our shoulder, that the broom gets out of our armpit. Remember, we can't stabilize the scapula. I don't know how people can sweep like this. Their whole body has to move. There's not a lot of arm motion here. I'm exaggerating, but you see this. You see people sweeping up and down like so, or they've got to get other body parts doing things that they're not supposed to, which causes even more injuries in the future. So I can help people by just seeing if they're doing trap sweeping. It tells me a whole whack load about how they're breathing, how their shoulder blade stabilizes, how they're generating motion through the arm, how they're stabilizing their core. So what can you do about it? Okay, what can you do about it? Number one, when you're sweeping, whether you're doing dry land or on ice, see if you can get some video to see if you're starting to shift your body, so you shift your broom up towards your armpit, okay? You can see if your shoulders are shrugging, okay? And you can pay attention to if you're able to get the weight out from your hips. The position that I like is when that arm goes forward and back to your pocket, okay? So we need to be able to brace the spine and get that shoulder motion. That's where that single arm bent row comes in really handy to teaching you how to stabilize the spine, brace the spine while we're creating force, okay? Other exercises off ice that you can focus on this, that I see this trap overuse happening, is push-ups, chin-ups, bench presses, okay? Sometimes even when we're doing our split squats, okay, we're holding the weight and I can see people shrugging into those parts. We're trying to stabilize with a muscle that's not supposed to be a primary stabilizer. Okay, so work on your trunk work on your lats as part of your trunk, and then use the on and off ice drills to really hone in on that proper positioning. Likely, if you notice that you are a trap sweeper and you feel up here a lot, likely it's not going to be like a quick fix. Okay, it's going to take probably at least a couple of months of focus and paying attention to your form to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. So as you're going through the next few months of the curling season, if you notice that you, or maybe even a teammate, is using things like the trap sweeping to generate stability where they don't have strength, or maybe just you and your teammate really struggle to get into an optimal sweep position based on your own body's strength, and consequently need to have some sort of structured program to help you get there, then you need to join me for the Better Brushing Strength Program. Okay, it's gonna be a 3-month program. It's gonna be a case study looking at what kind of things can we do off the ice in order to improve your sweeping. Okay, to make you not only a more effective brusher, but a more efficient brusher. Remember, efficiency means that you can repeat that position. Okay, you can generate power and you're not likely setting yourself up for injury, okay? You're moving in the way that the body is supposed to. This is going to be a program that it doesn't matter if you have access to ice or not, okay? If you are competing regularly or not. Okay, this is going to be something that you're going to be able to do between about 10 minutes a day of skill work, working on the push-up and sweeping as a skill, and then 2 to 3 times a week having a specific strength workout that's nice and short, and we can modify it around your season. So if you're interested in better brushing, make sure you DM me, Better Brushing. I'll send you more information. Really excited about this because trap sweeping, among other characteristics, are affecting and slowing down the progress of a lot of different athletes. And we want to be the most effective and efficient athlete ever so that we can crawl, we can practice and train more and curl forever and ever and ever.